So we'll start off with the strategy and roadmap, and we'll then delve into the OTM product update, followed by the key innovations, and then GTM. So we have quite a bit of content to cover, so we will try to prioritize, getting the message to you guys out. And we have a dedicated session tomorrow where you can ask all your questions to Oracle. So if you don't get time to wrap up the Q&A in this session, please feel free to reach out to us, even the session tomorrow or on the sidelines anytime during the conference. Right, so on that note, so this, as Nikhil started off saying that, now we have the proper logistics SIG conference, so to speak. So that's both OTM and WMS, right? So the logistics cloud is part of the it's an integral part of Oracle's, vast, enterprise suite of supply chain solutions for the cloud. And we are the industry leaders here, and specifically talking about, you have the capabilities on transportation management, logistic network modeling, which is more a simulation tool that could be used for your transportation strategic decision making. You have your global trade management, and then we have the WMS. Now, probably most of you are already aware, but again, in 2025, as we speak and as we stand right here, we are still the leaders in the Magic Quadrant of Gartner for both the TMS and the WMS solution. Okay, so and we are quite proud about it, and a lot of the credit goes to the entire ecosystem here. It's just not Oracle that that's achieved it. It's basically all you folks as well, because a lot of stuff that we build in the product is inspired and by clients, by the partners. So you're very much a part of the success that we have been having here year on year for a long time, given during the on-prem days and also in the cloud space as we speak. Now, our strategy falls under 4 larger buckets. Okay. So the first one is on how we want to do adoption of disruptive technologies, because that's a challenge. So you can never shy away from what's happening in the industry from a technology standpoint. So you have to be open to adopt and be able to stay ahead and also ensure that we offer the best of solutions to our customers and partners that enables them. So towards that, the things that we are focused a lot at this point are on predictive AI and generative AI. So these application of all these for logistics is a very important aspect of our product strategy. And also the other major thing that we consciously focus on is ensuring we give enterprise grade, consumer grade user experience. So we constantly innovate in terms of our, process oriented UI frameworks, Oracle's Redwood, and also giving more intuitive ways in which you could look at your business information, either in, by using data visualization or predictive analytics, so on and so forth. Then on the functional, and the other thing where we are investing heavily in terms of a roadmap and strategy, or from a functional standpoint, or towards things like logistics sustainability. So sustainability is big, and I'm sure each one of you have sustainability goals and targets to be achieved in your respective logistics function. So that's an ongoing area where we're investing heavily, and we have a lot of plans on that. And then we are bringing in a lot of convergence within supply chain products. So one of the big things is how are we going to combine, bring in a lot of synergy between supply chain planning and the execution, and also between WMS and TMS. So a lot of things are constantly happening on getting all the supply chain products work a lot more seamlessly together to bring in more value. And on the GTM side of things, we have more enhanced duty relief programs happening. And on WMS, we have these warehouse automation going on. And the last biggest pillar from a product strategy is where do we get our key requirement, and who's going to drive our product direction and strategy. Okay, so that comes from customers and partners. Okay, so through the means of your Idea Lab tickets that we encourage everyone to keep filing, giving in your requirements, your specific business challenges that you want Oracle to solve. So please keep going. So that really helps us, and that encourages us to devise our product strategy. Then conferences like these, and then we have these the SIG conferences. Then we have the customer advisory board. So all these are great sources for us to hear from the customers and the partners alike, and then help us devise our strategy. Okay. And then, of course, we do have industry strategy councils and others that help us in this cause as well. All right, so now the most interesting stuff, right? I know AI is the buzz everywhere. Now every company has, goals to adopt AI and then, see how you can enhance your efficiency and productivity within your business processes. Now, Oracle as a company, our AI strategy has been to make sure that we provide enterprise-ready infrastructure. Okay, so that means the data that you're looking at, the end-to-end, enterprise data is against which you build your AI capabilities. And this has to be fully baked into our cloud infrastructure and the SaaS products. Okay, so that is the biggest thing. So what that means is out of the box, you get the, the power of Oracle's OCI platform, be it the cloud computing part, the security, the enterprise security that we offer in our OCI platform. So it's not just about giving you agentic AI framework or platform to do, but it has to be baked well within your cloud infrastructure, wherein all these aspects are addressed. Okay, and also your ability to perform your AI models well within the application. So it's not like you're going to go do something else in a different place. So everything has to come in place within the application that you're working with. Okay. So those are the three major, strategies in which our AI solutions are being, worked out. Our architectures are being baked at this point, and you'll soon see a slew of our AI capabilities coming out, in the upcoming year. So I'm just going to give a very brief precursor on what our AI strategy is, and a very brief precursor on it. We're going to have a much, more informative session a little later in the day by Sundar and Sarvagya. So they will take you into a deep dive session on what our, where we stand today in our AI solution. They'll give you more technical, in-depth information on how our architecture is and what is it that you will get to do shortly in the upcoming year, and how our delivery model for AI, agentic AI, is going to be. Okay. So I will not spend too much time, but we'll give you a brief on what we are going to do. So in OTM, our key goals that we want to achieve on AI is to, provide clients and customers, achieve productivity and efficiency breakthroughs. So think about it. Any simple, mundane UI interfaces or UI actions, so those can be made a lot more, interactive, conversational, and much more faster and efficient to be done. So that's one of the places where we would be, applying. That's going to be there's going to be a Gen AI application over there, and also, for making better and efficient decisions, right? Complex business decisions. So that's another application area where Gen AI will be put to use. And then problems that you couldn't normally solve, or complex problems, like for example, if you look at one of the very best examples is the bulk plan process, right? So largely it's a black box, so a lot of stuff keeps going, a lot of decisions happen during the bulk plan process. But why did a decision happen in a certain way? Why did it not go through a different way? So analyzing the bulk plan diagnostics and giving you more insightful, summaries that will help you to then tweak your parameter setting and then make the bulk plan process more in line with what you actually need is what we would achieve. So how we're going to do it, we'll see an example of that. Okay. And this is how our landscape for AI looks like. So we have three major buckets of deliverables from OTM on AI. So we have the predictive AI, we have the generative AI, and then the AI agents. So predictive AI is already, we have already delivered it. Okay, it's nothing but our machine learning capabilities. So we have three use cases: ETA prediction, we have the order route execution, and for GTM we have the product classification. So these are essentially based solutions that will help you to predict outcomes based on pattern recognition and by applying machine learning techniques. So this is already there for you. We have delivered it a couple of years ago. And then now we are introducing LLMs, large language models on OTM. So with that, now we'll be able to develop and deliver generative AI. Okay. Now what it will help you to do, we'll create new content based on prompts. There's a lot more conversational prompt based conversation that you can have, and then you can get information summarized, a lot of assisted authoring that can happen. Okay, and we call these as AI assistants. Okay. And the next thing that we would deliver after these Gen AI assistants would be the AI agents. So this is more towards automating and taking actions once certain, once you have applied Gen AI to, solve or answer complex business questions. And from a roadmap perspective on predictive AI, we are constantly looking at enhancing our anomaly detection and shipment summary, so on and so forth. And these are some of the initial set of AI agents that will come out from a Gen AI perspective: planning diagnostics assistant, RAQ assistant, order planning advisor, delivery compliance assistant. Okay. So the order could be in an, these are just set of, the order in which we will deliver these assistants could vary based on what we find out our priorities, but these are like the initial set of AI assistants that you can expect coming out from us in 2026. Okay. And this is an example of how a planning diagnostics assistant is going to be. So the key use case that we would deliver here is it's an assistant that helps users to understand what has happened into the bulk plan process by analyzing the bulk plan diagnostic logs. Okay, so it will help you. It will summarize and give you what has gone in the bulk plan process, and that way it gives you suggestions to fix issues. It helps you to improve your configuration so that there's better utilization of your equipments, your carriers, whatnot. And as a roadmap, once we have the agents also built in, it will automatically fix problems. Okay, it's not just going through the logs and giving you the summarization, but also to fix issues automatically. Okay, so what the end business value that you can expect out of this is improved planning and better configuration and avoiding data errors. So as an example, as you see here, a conversational query over here through the planning diagnosis assistant could be, why was my Baltimore warehouse order not planned? So you look into the log and then it'll give you the response. As in this case, it was not planned because order time window was not feasible. Okay, so just one such example. So there could be any such prompted conversation that you can have with this assistant. Okay. Now moving on, apart from AI, the other thing, as I mentioned, in the functional innovation bucket is the convergence between supply chain execution and supply chain planning and execution. So one of the big asks we had is forecasting the transportation capacity and the transportation cost. Okay, so that's something that the upstream planning system doesn't have. Okay, so one of the major business problem that you're trying to solve here is we take in orders from supply chain planning, and we will use our simulation tool like LNM to then plan, and then we will forecast what is going to be the cost and the capacity requirements to plan these orders. Okay, and that gives you an estimate of what is going to be a transportation budget, which can go back to the planning system. Okay, so this is one of the initial use cases that you're looking at. There's more and more use cases. There are a few more use cases that we heard from other customers. Very interesting things around. This is a long-term forecast planning, but if you want to look at short-term forecasts, so there are solutions that we do have in the pipeline as well. But this is one of the first steps that we are planning here. Then we have enhancements going into our LNM product as well, or LNM tool. How many of you are using LNM today? Probably a show of hands would help. Okay, that's great. Yeah. So this is a very key strategic tool because it does what ifs. Okay, it does a lot of it helps you to. It's a strategic tool that helps you to constantly look at how you can tweak and enhance the way you run your processes, right? And we are constantly enhancing that. From a usability perspective, we are going to be delivering more pre-packaged scenarios. There will be guided journeys here that will help you to use the tool better and understand how to use it better and more efficient. Then we are adding more optimization capabilities along DC demand sourcing, fleet route optimization, and cross-dock optimization. Then LNM is again very strategic for us from a sustainable logistics perspective. Okay, so you can run scenarios to see what is going to be your carbon footprint. So if I were to plan my shipments with a set of carriers or a set of equipments versus something like a EV based thing. So what is going to be my savings? Okay, so that kind of simulation and that kind of what if analysis you can do, and that's something we want to bring in within LNM. So essentially to achieve your ESG targets, you can use LNM as an efficient tool. Okay. Then the other interesting area where we have constantly enhanced quite a bit in our solution is around yard or the dock management. So I'm sure a lot of you are using. So essentially today we provide you the ability to manage both, to schedule inbound and outbound dock appointments. You can locate trailers on the yard, or you can view the history of all the movements of the trailer. Now, what we have in the roadmap here where we want to constantly enhance this and take it forward is around, we are adding in a new check-in and check-out flow. That's something that we were working on in our roadmap. There is a guard check-in feature, and you can schedule multiple appointments for the same load in your warehouse. And also there is going to be an AI agent assistant that will help you to schedule and do your inbound appointment management. Okay. I just want to kind of call out here on what's happening in our analytics space, because there are a lot of queries from various clients on some of the capabilities that they want to do, especially around how do you extract data out of OTM and then combine this with other Fusion application data or something else. So this extraction of data and building a data lake seems to be a very common requirement. So just wanted to again call this out here and explain where we stand with our analytics solution, what's our landscape, and what are the options that are available for customers and partners. So largely, if we look at it, we have the classic embedded analytics where the data, we have the historical data or the data warehouse, and you run your traditional or classic BI in terms of facts and dimensions, have your dashboards and all those. Then you have the real-time analytics. So this is enabled using the data visualization tool. Now, we deliver this to basically help you perform analytics on live operational data. Whereas the classic or the embedded analytics runs on your historical data, which is not live data. Your real-time analytics delivered through data visualization helps you to perform analytics on live operational data. So similarly, again, on the live operation data, you can generate your reports, which most of you would be doing. And all these three capabilities, we deliver a lot of canned contents. You can also create your own custom content. Either you can create your own custom report or dashboard, or you can copy what is delivered out of the box and you can then extend and create your own custom content. On predictive AI, we have the analytics also delivered separately in our analytics solution. And then the interesting piece, this has been out in the market for the last 2 years. This is our go-to solution for anyone who has a need to, create a data lake. That is Fusion Data Intelligence Platform. Okay, so we'll talk a little about how this whole thing works. So Fusion Data Intelligence Platform is, it's a set of applications, BI application, analytics applications that is delivered by Oracle. Okay, more focused towards the SaaS or the cloud-based applications, and also for the non-cloud-based or ERP kind of e-biz applications too. Now, what we deliver from Oracle is we deliver, you see here, a pre-packaged data pipeline and connectors. Okay, and then we also, this is all running on ADW, the Autonomous Data Warehouse, and there is pre-packaged, pre-built semantic model. Now for OTM, we have delivered almost 2 years now. This product has been generally available. We deliver pre-built data pipeline. That is a connector. Okay. Now we don't have a pre-built semantic model, but OTM's data model can be combined with other pre-built semantic models. So if you want to really do a order to cache cycle with transportation data also analyzed, this is the best place for you to achieve that. Okay, so you can essentially achieve cross-application analytics by using FDIP. Okay, and the other powerful thing you can also do is if you have data coming from a different system, and if you have a way to build a connector, so the connectors could be either based on SQL or it could be based on REST API calls. So as long as you can create a connector, you can then combine data with non-Oracle applications through in FDIP. So FDIP is the tool from Oracle to build a data lake. It is running on Oracle's latest BI platform, that is Oracle Analytics Cloud. It is running on OCI under the hood. So in terms of the cloud computing capability, feature set, you get the best of what Oracle has to offer on the BI space here. All right. And the other interesting roadmap from analytics is we would also be delivering some predictive AI, that is machine learning, that Oracle Analytics Cloud, which is our new BI platform that you use. So by leveraging the ML capability in Oracle Analytics Cloud, now we will deliver sample foundation kind of ML use cases, and you can create your own additional ML use cases that might be of relevance for you. So that's a significant value proposition that you're going to get down the line. Okay, I'll quickly move on. I know last year we kind of spoke, this was one of the interesting slides we talked about. We were 25 years by then, so now we are counting 25 plus. The key thing I wanted to address, I wanted to showcase here is the kind of innovations that has happened ever since we moved over, transition to cloud. Okay, so OTM-GTM, as we speak today, we are fully engineered for cloud, Oracle Cloud, that is OCI. And a lot of innovations have happened, and any new capability, any new technology that Oracle has to offer as out-of-the-box service in OCI, you will find them used in OTM-GTM. So good examples of those are the mobile application, then we have the FDIP, embedded learning. Now, one of the bigger thing that we just finished is all our customer pods are now running on autonomous database, right? And we have also now started rolling out OAC. Okay, we'll talk about that in the next slide, which is our OAC is our newest or the next generation analytics platform. And we have also now delivered this year the sustainability capability too, and OBN, okay? Oracle Business Network. So constantly, this is a kind of a snapshot of the number of enhancements that we have delivered, how many Idea Lab enhancements that we have fixed, that we have actually rolled out across the different releases in the past 2 years. And we have added 2 new data center regions where OTM logistics solutions are now deployed, Sao Paulo and DRCC. And let's talk about the key cloud projects. So one of the big things that's happening right now in 2025 is Oracle Analytics Cloud. Okay, now this replaces our current BI tool, which is Oracle Analytics Server. Now the difference is we install, provision, manage, upgrade, patch our Oracle Analytics Server. When I say we, OTM. Whereas with OAC or Oracle Analytics Cloud, there is a ground up BI capability or a BI tool set that Oracle has developed specially for the cloud. So this is a native service that comes with OCI. Okay, it's a PaaS component. So we consume that service. So upgrading, patching, and managing those are done by the, not by OTM team, but that's done by the BI team. So that means you are going to get the latest BI, the feature set that the BI team has to offer. And our upgrade times are going to be significantly faster now, because we are seeing about 30% reduction in our upgrade times. And there are no additional licenses here. So this is all happening under the hood. So you won't really feel, or you will not even know what has happened, but your instances are already upgraded to OAC. Starting 25B, our new customer pods are already provisioned on OAC. Now we have started the switchovers for existing or migrating our existing customers from 25C onwards, and we expect that to be completed in Q1 2026. So by then, all your all our customer instances will be running on OAC, similar to what we did with Autonomous Database. Okay. So Autonomous Database is Oracle's latest, as you all know, database solution for the cloud. And as we speak now, all customer instances have been successfully migrated to ATP. And this is a prerequisite for us because ATP was an important thing for us to enable a lot more, technology innovation. So especially for machine learning and also for OAC. So that was a stepping stone for us. Now that we have moved all our customers over to ATP, you stand to gain wherein we can deliver more capabilities on ML and OAC. Okay, and some of the important enhancements we did in the past year, 2025, on the Workbench, Workbench, I'm sure most of you are using it. It's a very strategic tool for us from a user experience standpoint. It is process oriented, is highly customizable, and we support a lot of intuitive widgets that come out of the box. Okay, and we are constantly enhancing the Workbench to make it lot more consumer grade user experience. Now towards that, this year we have enhanced the table capability with a lot more inline edit, and on doc scheduling, right? So I think we kind of deprecated the very old legacy doc scheduler, which is now completely moved over to the appointment management Workbench that we have. And the appointment scheduling Gantt has been significantly enhanced. One of the big things that we did is it has dynamic actions that you can perform right on the Gantt chart, either to block a slot or to create an appointment. And the actions are determined based on the configurations. It could be based on your logic configuration or the power actions that you are doing, or based on the screen set from where you're running these actions on. Okay, and we have also enhanced from a planning perspective on the work assignment area. So that is a new Workbench that we delivered for the work assignment. There are new metrics to show the solution quality as you have performed your work assignments. And there are options to see the start and end location options. You can add shipments to work assignments as a process. You can restrict pairing to the same equipment group, and after the end of the work assignment, you can ensure that the driver goes back home. Okay. So there are a lot of enhancements that we got from Idea Lab and from our customers, and all these have gone into the work assignment area. And then the OTM mobile. So these are two new capabilities that were added this year. So one is you can now manage your service provider's invoice, wherein automatically you can auto-generate an invoice and it gets sent over on the mobile app, and then the carrier can then view the invoice, edit or add line items, and then upload documents for further approval back in OTM. And similarly, on the doc appointment scheduling in the OTM mobile, now we have, it enables you now to manage your doc bookings from the mobile app. You can either view, add, modify, or delete the doc appointments. Okay. So as I said, this is the OTM mobile application is again a very critical tool towards our whole strategy of giving consumer grade user experience, and it now uses a framework which is made for cloud and made for devices with form factor like a mobile or iPad. So it's really pretty advanced at this stage as we speak. Okay. Now I know there would be questions on what's happening on our on-premise solution, right? So as we have been constantly sounding out in every, annually, so the last on-premise release that we have delivered was 653, and the patch end date or the support end date for on-premise 653 is Q4 2026. So we have no further plans to maintain or sustain 653. So it's important that that message is shared with you as well. Okay. So the key message is, takeaway is, after 2026 December, OTM-GTM on-premise will only provide sustaining support. So there won't be any new patches. Okay. So we'll move on now to some key innovations, and I'm going to have Ashok is going to give you a little more insights and drive you through on what our key innovations are and what's happening in the GTM area.
Yeah. My name is Ashok Kalidindi. I'm part of OTM-GTM product development team. I'll walk through some of the key features that we have built in last 1 year. We'll also touch base on some GTM update. Mind you that these are not the only features. We are just trying to give you a quick sneak into some of the important things. One of the important areas that we have been working from last 1.5 years, I would say, is the sustainability. There is a solution that is currently available as we speak, starting 25X release. So we'll talk about that. So one of the important things is ability to capture your emission details for your reporting purpose. That is the primary driver, correct? And we are also provided some solution in terms of using your emissions within your planning decisions. So that is also something which we have provided as an option. And we will continue to evolve further. There are areas that we would like to take it forward in terms of alternative options of different vehicle types, different vehicles using different fuels, and also in terms of using fuel-based consumption to be reported, and based on that the corresponding emission calculation. So that's something in the roadmap. As of now, the preliminary version that we have given you is an intensity based. I would call this as an average across different multiple factors. You derive an average, and that's how you move forward. So these are some key features that within the emission module, I would say, you have the capability of recording as emission activities or details. So what it helps you is at a shipment level, you can make out what is the total emissions that has happened, and it could be calculated during the planning itself, the emissions that could be. The second thing is you can get these emissions from the carriers, because actually the carrier is actually the one who is executing. The emissions can be recorded against the shipment. This is another thing that is already available. You can drive these emission calculation within the product using called emission rules. There are more flexible options that are given to you. You can define your emission calculation that is driven based on the weight of the good that is moved, the distance that is. So there are multiple factors that you can include into your formula calculations, and that's how you drive the emissions. So this is also something available. Third is decision support. As you do your bulk plans, system would now, you can use the concept of weighted cost, which I think many of you would have been familiar with in OTM, to drive your decisions. So if if a particular route where the emissions is more versus other route, system will evaluate that and show you as a cost factor into it, and thereby driving the final decisions of a particular route to be picked up. So that is what is the decision support. Lately in the current 25X release, what we have also done is allocating the emissions that are calculated at a shipment level to be allocated to the respective orders. Like typically you have multiple orders that gets consolidated into a shipment, and then you move the shipment. And what you see is an emissions calculated at a shipment. Now, at an order level, what is the contribution? That is what this feature is all about. And this is currently available in 25X release. Further extending this sustainability has also been extended within LNM as a scenario options where you can simulate when you are determining your network, you can factor into the emissions also into it. And that's what, and there are dashboards, visualization, which you can use that. You can also capture the planned emissions that the system has planned versus the actual emissions that you're getting. Another key area that we are heavily investing it and promoting this is Oracle Business Network. Last SIG also we talked about. This is a platform, I would say, where it will help the shippers or the OTM customers to connect with the third parties. Third parties could be your carriers or other brokers or the suppliers. So this is a single platform called OBN that is provided from OTM itself, or not from OTM, as a Oracle product offering. What this helps you primarily is any third party, let's say any carrier, you can once integrate or plug in into the business network, and once that network is built within the OBN network, all the other clients can directly plug into that network and use it. So it's not like you have to put your another instance and start doing all the mapping. So that's a big advantage. The powerful thing we see is the more and more carriers are onboarding to this, all the OTM customers can connect to any one of the carriers using these services. So that is the platform, and what we have done, we'll talk a little bit more on this. As of now, I'm just trying to tell you what is the current state of this platform. There are two things that we are doing from OTM to connect to an OBN network. One, from OTM, there will be a connectivity to OBN. That's the first thing. And back from OBN to OTM, this connectivity has been established, and there are a couple of flows that we have already built. One is the rating flow, which is to get a cost for a particular shipment. That flow has been built. It has been built using one of the carriers which are onboarded on that. Okay. Second, because the rating is part of the onboarding, it means within the bulk plan it can be triggered. Second flow that has been also modeled is the tendering flow. So tendering can be done via the OBN network. For your shipment that is planned in OTM, you can tender via the OBN network to the actual carriers. That is another flow that we have done. And also communicate backwards from the carrier accepting the tender all the way to OTM. The other part we have also started is the invoice flow from the carriers for the shipments that he has executed back into the OTM via that network. Now the network seems to be very important in a sense that each carrier has a different interface or a structure that, or a little bit more details or information that could vary carrier by carrier. And the integration between an OBN network and carrier is built one, and it is specific to that carrier, correct? It need not be implemented or at different clients. You leverage that existing plug point integration, and all the other shippers or OTM customers can use that. So we would recommend you to look at this. That is the current state. We would like to extend this further in terms of getting the tracking event via this OBN network and all that. The other option we are trying to actively working is you don't have to worry about an OBN network. We would directly give an option within an OTM saying that you want to plug in to the network, which carrier, you just key in that details, and after that OTM will take care of ensuring that it makes the connection. So we want to make a simplified solution without worrying about the underlying technology of OBN. Yes, OBN as an offering has to be understood, but that's where we are heading towards. Furthermore, again, I'm sure for different modes, like for parcels or for LTLs, OTM is a way where you can model all your rates to get that. But sometimes you want to go outside of OTM and tie up with a specific carrier, like a FedEx or a DHL and so on. And we have seen that there are integrations that are built outside of OTM. In this case, we are now extending the FedEx integration, a direct integration from OTM to FedEx. That is what we are now supported. This was existing, we have extended that further. So it would help in terms of international shipping also via the FedEx. So all that required direct integration with FedEx has been, is now available for all of you to use. The other new capability which is upcoming in 26A, I would say, which I think would be interesting for all of you guys, and that's where we put this, is the rate shopping capability, which means within OTM, if for a particular carrier, there are different service levels. So you end up defining 10 different rate offerings and rate records and so on. And what happens when I make a call to the external system, you make a 10 calls to that system. It responds back. And then OTM evaluates all these and gives that. What this feature would help you is, you just define a single rate offering without constraining it in terms of these are the carriers or these are the service levels. You don't do that. Let the external party give you all the carrier specific rates by service type, by different mode and all that. That is where this would be very powerful, and I'm sure there are a couple of partners here who are trying to leverage this to build rates as a rate shopping for a particular shipment. It can give you an LTL rate or a parcel rate directly from external systems. So that is where, and you can see here there is service provider profile, I think mode profile and rate service profile. So previously the service provider was a mandatory thing. Now you can see it is not, and you can limit yourself saying, yes, I would do a rate shopping, but my focus is only for 5 carriers. So I can give a profile and all the services that within that service provider, you get that. So that is the advantage. Second is we have also moved away from XML, slowly moving away and trying to enable as a JSON. This is a little technical in nature, but all the integrations we would support as a JSON structure. In a previous people who have implemented or used, the external rating was not hierarchical in nature from an interface point of view. It is now much more easier when you have a hierarchical structure. Moving on the integration front, all of you, I think many of you would have been heard about out XML profile, which is a way, an option given within the product when you want to send some outbound XML messages. I want to limit the structure based on the business need. That is one of the drivers. So we used to do that within out XML profile. Now, the same thing we are doing with out JSON profile here. A similar concept you can see in this. You can select certain fields here that you want to move, as well as certain objects. Let's say within shipment, I just want to move stop details, not others. So all that is much powerful. Again, all these drivers, I think many of you are familiar. We had an XML based integrations from last 20-25 years. For all the integrations with OTM, both in and out. And I think we have invested sufficient time and energy to move away from XML to a REST-based architecture or a REST-based communication. And towards that initiative, this is one of them. I would say whatever XML was supporting, the REST now supports. I would put it somewhere around 85 to 90%. We do support that. And wherever there are gaps, we are trying to fill. And our direction would be going forward, any new interfaces, any new integrations has to happen, would happen on the REST. And that's the direction. So XML, if any new business object comes, you would see that on the REST, may not be on the XML. And hence, we strongly encourage you to start uptaking that. That is one. The other major reason which I want to drive is this REST will be the basis for your all PaaS UIs that you want to build. The same REST services would be used. So, and other factor is going forward, we are moving towards making all our UIs more Redwood based, and even those would use REST as a. So, in short, the message is that please start looking at REST. that is the future directions to build all the integrations, all the UIs and so on. These are more specific features, again a new capability or a new business object that has been exposed on REST is a shipment group object where you can perform simple get, patch, put and all the commands. So as a business object, we are supporting this. There are certain finer nitty-gritties in terms of patching, which we have also introduced in 25X release. So we'll move on to some of the GTM use cases and some capabilities that we have added. Restricted party screening has been a service that existing right from the start of this GTM product inception. However, in this release, we are focused on improving the performance of the screening process. That is what the effort is. We have started introducing this concept of global exclusion service preferences. Those we are using GTM at a service parameter level. You could have defined a set of exclusion things. Now, it need not be at that level. It can be at each of the parameter level. A parameter could be a name parameter, an address parameter, or a city and a country. At that level, you can define. This not only improves the performance, but also your quality of the match is also improved with this. There are certain, and all these capabilities, so what we have done here are more performance improvement. All of you would automatically get this as you keep up, as your pods are upgraded to this. So 25C and 26A, all these capabilities are available. So I feel as you start executing the normal process, you will see a performance gain automatically because of these enablement. Then further moving on, we also given the service preferences for screening was always a combination of name, address, city and a combination. So what we have done, and the weights are being divided against. So the conditions is an and condition between all these. What we are now given as a capability is all these can be independent, which means an or condition. You can just name match a name, or if an address is also matching, it's a match. So those type of capabilities have been introduced within this new feature, which is called restricted party screening profile. Again, we envision or we did see that this will improve the quality of the match as well. Then moving on, trade agreements is a new, I think this has been existing from last 4 years into the product. There are some use cases that have been brought up from some of the clients, which is related to determining the qualification result of a particular item that you import or export, correct? So the primary driver for any trade agreement per se is to, when I try to utilize a trade agreement, one of the driving force for you would be the country of origin and the qualified, whether it is qualified for this trade agreement for this particular country of origin. That is the combination that a supplier has to certify, or you being a manufacturer, you have to certify. And during that process, that is where the trade agreement rule comes into picture. And as we source multiple raw materials from multiple suppliers, it can so happen that in the manufacturing process, you use 30% of one supplier goods, 20 of another, 50 of another. Now, when I do a qualification process, I need to make an assumption that even though there is no clear demarcation that these supplier goods have only been used in this manufacturing process, because you use the lumps, literally what is available in the inventory, directly use it. But from a qualification process, you need to know. So that is where this will help you, where you say supplier 1, which is a country of origin of China, 50%, supplier 2, country of origin India, which is 10%, and so on. So those details are taken during qualification to do the right qualification process. And that's what this bullets, what you see here. Finally, we are arriving at a value of originating and value of non-originating, and that is the key for driving all this trade agreement. Some other feedback we received was on the qualification engine. The qualification engine drives on set of one, the product is wholly originating in this country, for example, or the product is substantially transformed within this country, which means maybe 80% of the manufacturing has happened here, or it could be, I would say, regional value content, or there is a substantial value add that has happened here. So these are some governing factors which drive to tell this product has been manufactured in this country, or you can stamp the country of origin of a product. So there was feedback on how the rules have to be evaluated in what order, and that's a configurable option that is provided to you. The next is license management. Again, this has been existing in the product. What is the new thing that we have given is a single license can be used for multiple products, correct? And what used to happen is, and other thing is, it can cut across different product classification codes per se. And what this feature does is give a consolidation of all the classification codes for which you can apply a license, correct? So instead of making 10 rules or 100 rules by classification code, you can now define one rule and achieve that. That's the power you get here. And the transactions or the license that is assigned are very niche in terms of under what condition it should be used, or what is the end use type and so on. So that also plays an important role. And via saved query, we are giving a capability where you can match the details on the transaction with that of a license, and then you can assign that particular license to the trade transaction. Then customs management, again, many a times GTM has an offering to generate a declaration, and that is what is actually filed with the customs. And as you can see, the regulations are getting changes, there are more controls that is getting added and so on. We had a pre-built template to file with US AES system. But again, those are evolving with time every month and all that. We cannot always be in pace, and you don't have to wait for a release or a patch to happen. What we have done is made it configurable for you, where you can say, oh, if this is the control, I can define that control and do the mapping that this is the code that I should file with custom. So it becomes much simplified. You have much control for yourself on doing all this. You don't have to wait for development or product to release a patch or do upgrades on that. Again, duties, most of us would have experienced all this. New tariffs, new penalties, new reciprocal tariffs and all that. So yes, GTM also would have to adhere to that or would have to work with that. So right now we have given all the duty tax calculation, we are plugged in with Descartes as a content provider for all the duty tax calculation that is still available. What we are giving you is a detailed breakup of what type of penalties, like of late you are seeing steel penalties, aluminum penalties for countries specific, like China has some penalties, India has specific penalties that the US is imposing on that. So all that is automatically now got into GTM with more detailed information so that you can use them directly. So and all this is nothing that you have to do, system already has all these capabilities. Trade incentive program, I'll spend a couple of minutes before I wind up. One of the key initiatives from last 1.5 years, we have spent time on trade incentive programs. What are trade incentive programs? These are programs which are, for example, the FTZ programs, free trade zones creation, which helps economic growth of that particular country, correct? You either invite other people from other countries to come and install or set up the manufacturing in the FTZ, thereby encouraging more trade within our country itself. That's one example. And there could be another examples like a duty drawback program where you pay the duty and when you export it, you get the refund of the entire duty. All these are intensive incentives that government gives or opens up the market so that you do the respective businesses in that. So within GTM landscape, what we have started is in 23X release, we started a very framework thing where you could define what are the different types of trade incentive program. FTZ programs, duty drawback, inward processing, outward processing, and all these are different programs. They have different value of propositions or the benefit, both in terms of cash flows. You can defer the payment of duties till a later date and so on. So those foundation components has been laid, and in 24X we have delivered these use cases, bonded warehouse management, inward processing, temporary imports, which is an example. You get a particular type of car for a display in our country, let's say. So that's a temporary import you do. So you don't have to pay the duty if you declare under temporary import. Otherwise you would have to pay the duty, and the intent is you would export it back. Correct? It is just for a demo purpose and all. So all that comes under temporary import. FTZ, we talked about manufacturing drawback. So all these are something that can be supported within the infrastructure that we have built. We are now gone in 25X, a more in-depth into handling the what is called as foreign trade zones in US. Like the goods that come into a particular FCZ, they can be categorized as a privileged, non-privileged, or domestic goods and all that. The reason why they categorize that is, if it is a privileged good, you decide upfront on what duty that you have to pay when I import it, at the rate at which on the day I am importing it. That is a privilege option. It could be a less on that. There is something non-privileged, which means you would have to pay very fixed duties and so on. So all that capabilities is something that we have tried to address, and there's more coming up in 26A, more use cases of manufacturing situation use cases. Yeah, sure. There are more use cases in terms of, let's say I have an FTZ facility and I'm manufacturing at this facility. I get all the raw materials from the other countries. So you got to record what you imported into FTZ. That's a very high regulation that you need to follow. That's the first thing. Recording what you got in. Then there is a timeline in which you can export it. If you don't export that, you have to pay the duty for it. And sometimes it could vary by product. Some products are given as 2 years, some products are given as 3 years, and so on. So these are other highlights that you can define within the system. Now, the moment you use in the manufacturing, the components doesn't exist. You used it in the manufacturing process overall. Now, when a manufacturing product is exported out, I need to reconcile the end finished product with the components and submit it to the customs, because they need that relationship to prove that these are the export, this is the finished good, and hence this reconciliation has happened. And then you are not you don't have to pay the duty. If you don't match them up, you are bound to pay the duties as if you have consumed them. So all these capabilities have been built in 25C and 26A also. These are complex use cases, but yes, the platform is now ready for use in these areas. The last slide from my side is GTM AI ML. Muthu talked about AI initiatives, and I'm pretty sure Sundar and Savagya will cover. I just want to touch base from a GTM point of view. Currently, let's start with the machine learning. We have given a solution in terms of proposing a product classification code using the machine learning. Now, the use case when this would be helpful is you have certain items or products that you do business with on a day-to-day basis, and there's a new item that you created in your PIP or something which is related to these items, correct? So then I can leverage the existing classification details to predict the new product classification details. That is the number one case. Now what happens if there is a new product which I had never classified or categorized in that? I was into laptop business, but suddenly I move into some other business, and that item has to be classified. ML is not the solution there because you don't have any historical detail. That's when we would like to go forward, trying to use large language models, because now we are relying on publicly available information, not internally. And thereby, we would like to predict classification codes using the LLMs and use that within the product. We definitely got a good feedback or inputs on how to, this was the primary use case that people have pushed us. So we would try to work on this. This is a roadmap item for us. So two things there, we would predict using large language models, the custom description, because that is what customs will understand. You need to have, your item description that you make it to sell is totally different than the custom descriptions. So yeah, those are the two areas. I'm done. Yeah. Second is anomaly detection. This is also something in the roadmap. In a near term, we are trying to actively start working on it. Which is detect anomaly to identify anomalies. Let's say on an OTM terminology, it could be an anomaly on an invoice in terms of an amount that the carrier has given you. The amount under that particular head is out because of a typing error or whatever it is, anomaly detection. Yes, code, country of origin, custom values are some key values that the anomaly has to be detected then and there. The biggest problem of not doing these is you would be end up paying fines for that. A wrong classification code will make you pay the fines for it, or a country of origin which is wrongly stamped. So that is where anomaly detection. The third is, and the last one is document understanding. What we would like to look at is a possibility of using AI for, let's say you have a PDF of an invoice and I just want to convert that into an actual invoice within my system. That is the capability we are looking and that's the use case of OTM. In similar lines, GTM has a very peculiar use cases of your commercial invoice. Using that, I want to create a declaration for which I want to file. So these type of things is what we would be focusing on. Except ML to start with, all the others are roadmap item. ML is something that is already available. So with that, I would end. And as just a reminder for this, we have this Cloud Customer Connect. In every release, just to remind you, we take lot of Idea Lab items from Cloud Customer Connect into the product. And Muthu, what he showed, they are almost like 25 to 40% of the Idea Labs that go into the product. So I would strongly encourage everyone to use this platform. We are also active in responding to this in Cloud Customer Connect, as so others are sharing. So there's a lot of learning to make. Also, it is good. This is another way to reach out directly, and if others also have a similar problem, similar requirement, please vote up for that. And that's how the priority into the backlog is made. So with that, I would end. Any questions?